Chapter 8: The Pursuit of Truth. The independent investigation of truth is a core principle of the Baha'i Faith. The Universal House of Justice says, quote, "The primary task of the soul will always be to investigate reality, to live in accordance with the truths of which it becomes persuaded, and to accord full respect to the efforts of others to do the same." Baha'u'llah's counsel to the followers of the Baha'i Faith is, quote, "See with thine own eyes, and not through the eyes of others," and "Know of thine own knowledge, and not through the knowledge of thy neighbor." He said, "Endeavor to the utmost of thy powers to establish the word of truth with eloquence and wisdom, and to dispel falsehood from the face of the earth." Abdu'l-Baha said, quote, "Just as in the world of politics there is need for free thought, likewise in the world of religion there should be the right of unrestricted individual belief. Consider what a vast difference exists between modern democracy and the old forms of despotism. Under an autocratic government, the opinions of men are not free, and development is stifled, whereas in democracy, because thought and speech are not restricted, the greatest progress is witnessed. It is likewise true in the world of religion. When freedom of conscience, liberty of thought, and right of speech prevail, that is to say, when every man, according to his own idealization, may give expression to his beliefs, development and growth are inevitable." To independently investigate truth, one needs to refrain from blindly following traditions. Abdu'l-Baha said it in this way, quote, "God has created in man the power of reason whereby man is enabled to investigate reality. God has not intended man to blindly imitate his fathers and ancestors. He has endowed him with mind, or the faculty of reasoning, by the exercise of which he is to investigate and discover the truth. And that which he finds real and true, he must accept. He must not be an imitator or blind follower of any soul. He must not rely implicitly upon the opinion of any man without investigation. Nay, each soul must seek intelligently and independently, arriving at a real conclusion and bound only by that reality. God has given man the eye of investigation by which he may see and recognize truth. God has endowed man with ears that he may hear the message of reality, and conferred upon him the gift of reason by which he may discover things for himself. This is his endowment and equipment for the investigation of reality. Man is not intended to see through the eyes of another, hear through another's ears, nor comprehend with another's brain. Each human creature has individual endowment, power, and responsibility in the creative plan of God. Therefore, depend upon your own reason and judgment, and adhere to the outcome of your own investigation. Otherwise, you will be utterly submerged in the sea of ignorance and deprived of all the bounties of God. To independently investigate truth, one must carefully assess sources of information in order to identify the most responsible ones, the most trustworthy ones, the most helpful ones, the ones that are attempting to examine reality and serve the public, rather than to convince the public to adopt a particular point of view. To independently investigate truth, it is helpful to assume that powerful interests are, by any and all means available, attempting constantly to persuade you of narratives that benefit themselves or their benefactors, and that such entities are not necessarily interested in enlightening you or benefiting you. In fact, you might be regarded by them as merely a pawn. In the game of chess, a competitor will unhesitatingly sacrifice as many pawns as is necessary in order to achieve his objective. Remaining skeptical and neutral while pursuing truth, basing our opinions on evidence, is indispensable for navigating this information age that we're living through. Otherwise, facing a fire hose of information and content, we are easily overwhelmed and misled.